Working on Free Spirit was amazing. I had a really enjoyable time traveling around the world with Khalid and working on songs and, coming back to LA for a couple weeks at a time and finishing them up. Was a really rewarding experience. It was the first time I really got to travel out of the United States, and he was very kind to take me with him, and I got to experience a lot of things that I didn't get to experience in my life prior to working on that album. And we developed a really close friendship and worked on a lot of great songs at that time. Doing features on the road, writing new music on the road, but also, in and out of different countries and, different restaurants and different places, all that sort of stuff. It really brought like a very worldly perspective to that album. And I think that's why it ended up being named Free Spirit, was just because we were just so able to be out and about and doing things and, going new places, new and exciting places all the time. And, it felt very freeing. And I guess that's how I would describe that time. Yeah, I have a few specific moments that stand out to me from that time. One of them was working with John Mayer on Out of My Head. And he walked into the studio one day when we were working. I kind of like met up with Khalid prior, just like in the hallway of that studio, and had walked in and was just kind of like telling a couple jokes and was like, hey, like I'm down to play on some music if you guys are down. And we were like, please, you're a legend. And he just kind of came back with a guitar and a cable, and I was able to just plug him in, and he was able to, do what he does and just be creative. The producers on that session, John Hill and Digi, were also super elated. And once he left, everybody was kind of like, wow, what was that? He just came in and just shredded guitar and did a guitar solo, kind of left, and we were all like, wow, that's very unique. That was really awesome. So that was cool. I guess another specific memory that I have is we were spending so much time in the studio and, every day just showing up and working on songs and, getting out the whiteboard and marking off things that we needed to do. And it was just a bunch of pressure to kind of get things done on time. And it was great. But we also had a ton of time to work really hard, and then we would take an hour break and play ping pong or play pool or something like that at Record Plant. And I just remember making a lot of friends during that time, and just not only being hyper focused, but also just being very 100% dedicated to a project. And working with a few people like Charlie Handsome and Digi and John Hill and, whoever else was walking through the doors at that time, just being able to really lock in with them and work on something special. I think my favorite track from the album, definitely Talk. Talk was such a monumental moment for everybody that worked on it, because it received a Grammy nomination for Record of the Year. And from working with Disclosure at the studio and Khalid, receiving a big Grammy nomination for that. And also, I had a lot of friends from the tour that worked on stuff, they were in the music video, and seeing the impact that it had, just in the ads that it was featured in and being played on radio and all sorts of, great things associated with that song. There were a lot of positive memories. And being able to go to the Grammys, was a really special time. And working on that song from a mix perspective with my friend John and Josh and Ingmar and my friend Michael that helped at the studio, getting that finalized, and working with the whole label team. It felt so involved with everyone, and it just was a really rewarding experience to have been there and seen a record go from birth to the Grammy stage. It was my first time just kind of being a part of that. And it was, even though we didn't get the win, it was still a super rewarding experience. And I was very thankful and appreciative for that. It meant so much to me to have worked on this album from beginning to end with Khalid. It was very impactful for my life for a lot of reasons. It was my first time really being recognized by a lot of my peers as someone who's operating at a real professional level. And it was a great introductory experience on that. And I had made a ton of friends. I had experienced a lot of great things while working on that. And I'm forever thankful for, Khalid being so kind to me during that time and to include me in the ways that he did. And we really grew a lot as friends during that experience. And, that's something that I will take with me for forever. Those friendships, those bonds, those stories, it meant a lot to me. And it meant a lot just at my age and what I was going through, really going from like young adult into like older adult / manhood, it felt like, it was really important. And it was great to experience all the different cultures that we did while on tour. And while we were so busy during that time, you kind of look back and you're like, wow, like it's really fortunate to go from like Japan all the way to France. And then, from there back to like Minnesota and stuff, and then come back home. You meet so many awesome fans and you meet so many people who are touched by the music that you don't necessarily get to experience when you're in the studio all day. And so being able to see that, experience that, feel that, it really puts a lot of greater context into what you're working on, and I'll never forget that. It's very real. So yeah, thank you so much.